Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. It is Monday, Thursday over here, which is a national holiday. Every single place is closed. All of Latin America is the exact same way. Tomorrow is the scheduled day off in the United States and many other Western countries. So, today being the last day of the week, it's a little fuckery how going into the final 40 minutes of the day yesterday, trolling all day long after that initial dip, 10 o'clock. Nothing, no news, no headline, no catalyst. Kaboom. Through the 5-day moving average, which resisted cleanly right there at 2:30 in the afternoon, right on up into a higher high for the week, with the week now being 52.49 and your close the day prior down at 52.03, whatever it is. You got a 10-point gap that's down here below, and we have accomplished absolutely nothing. 5-day view, again, having posted that high there on March 21, the day after the FOMC meeting, tiny little grind downward, very aggressive sell down there going into Tuesday afternoon, 52.03.42. And here we are at 52.49 where we closed yesterday, and again, nothing, absolutely nothing. If you put a gun to my head and forced me to look at this, I would say, okay, this looks to me like it's an a B, and a C, and we just went up here for the A, B, C equals A move. Looks absolutely nothing to make any kind of aggressive movements out of. What is very aggressive to move on to is the VIX. Having toppled off that 16, like we've warned about, and that 1542 that we lost middle of March, the move down here to 1255 is your shopping zone. And I mean shopping zone where it is extremely cheap for you to be able to go out and buy time. And by buying time, there's no need to go out of the money. Very, very simple to be very close to the money, being SPY 520, 510, QQQ 440, 430, and buy yourself a couple of months, because that's where you're at with the compressed VIX down here in the 12s. Looking over to today, there is GDP 830, initial jobless claims at 830, GDP at 830, US core PCE prices final for the month at 830, GDP at 830. You've also got Chicago PMI at 945. You've got GDP at 830. At 10 o'clock, you have the University of Michigan sentiment final for the month of March. At 8:30, you have GDP. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that GDP is today, but yes, you do have the GDP numbers that are coming out today at 8:30 prior to the market open, and we'll get a better recognition and decision as to whether or not we're going to 5,300 or we're going below 5,200. Because again, this being a very anomaly kind of situation, 6 closes in the 5200s without visiting down into the 5100s, century mark break, unseen, absolutely unseen in all of this move. On top of that, as we had 17 consecutive sessions without a minus 1% move going into January 17th, and then we got it. We are 17 consecutive sessions today without a minus 1% move. Coming off of here from our last one on March the 5th, we have moved absolutely nowhere in aggressiveness to the downside. Now, today, minus 1% for today would be 5196, aka minus 5200. So we'll see. You have that gap, 52.13.92, call it 52.14, down to 52.03.48, call it 52.04. So 10-point gap down there and below. GDP numbers come out at 8:30 in the morning. Over on the QQQ, not even sure if I updated this. No, I didn't update this, so let's go ahead and update it in real time so that everybody can see how you do these spreadsheets like we've shared a couple of times before. Boom, 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 on to Yahoo Finance. Grab that, come over here, throw that, boom, change your font. I like to move mine, so mine is very... And what I've done now is I saw it on Yahoo Finance. I saw it here. I changed the font, changed it to bold. I've now seen these numbers 3 different times. Come over and look at what the day was, and the day was a gap up. It was a 3-point range. Oh, no, sorry. It was a 3-point gap up. We got a 4.6 range, which is good. We closed below the open, but we closed green above the previous day's close. So, again, a little bit of weakness there, as you can see, closing red below the open 2 days in a row. However, no plus 1%, no minus 1%. Today, those numbers are going to be at 449.28 and 440.30 with that fake print down on the QQQ still untouched over at 441. So come over here again with the VIX, and very compressed down here on the 12s, a very opportune moment for some kind of catalyst, some kind of headline to be posted like GDP, perhaps, to be able to move this back up above the 1339 warning level, which typically used to be our bottom, and a push into the 14s. A push into the 14s, I would strongly agree that the SPX down into the low 5200s, pushing to the 10-day, pushing to the minus 1% is very plausible with a VIX push up into that 1410. So we'll see what the GDP numbers have to say. Over on FedEx, nothing, no reaction yet, nothing at all since the earnings move. Little move into the earnings gap took place last couple of days, just floating sideways. Like I've said, if you want to be involved in the FedEx trade, if you are involved in the FedEx trade, you see Federal Express delivery people all over the place. Talk to them. Ask them, how's things going? If you don't feel that you've got confident enough to do that, then, whatever, don't do it. But me, anything that I want to do, anything, I want to buy a truck, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a motorcycle. I talk to every single person I see that owns that motorcycle, and I ask them, hey, what's going on with your car? Do you like it? How's it working? Do you have any issues with it? I've asked probably 70 people about the Ford, because we're going to be getting a new truck here in a couple of months. And that's the way it works. The reason I say in a couple of months, because over here you need to order it. It takes about 2 or 3 months before they deliver it. JP Morgan, again, wider view on this, looking at a 15-day, 30-minute. Still looking for that 186.41. Almost got that 193.71 break yesterday, which I'm looking for. And then you had your float up yesterday, which everybody saw. So again, nothing to speak of any kind of significance that has to do with that. So I bring you over here to the futures, looking at 5-day, 15-minute views on the futures, and here we are with the NQ. NQ resisting what was supporting going back a week ago. Resisting where it was supporting down here around 1850, off the lows, but again, still looking very weak over on the NQ. And that's because the shift over into continuing to be into the YM, which was a little bit oversold. More importantly, over onto the Russell 2000, which has now posted a new high for 2024. And we'll look over that on 2024. And where are we? You know what? We'll go on to the IWM. And we will start out with the beginning of the year, which is very easy to do, like that. Boom, boom, boom. And with the open having been 199.40, and we have now come, why am I not getting the after hours? Oh, yeah, I am getting the after hours. So we don't have a new high yet on the Russell 2000, on the IWM. We got to visit back up to 210. 210 from 199.40. So let's do the math. 210 divided by 199.40. Nope. The Russell 2000 is up 5%, according to this, for the year. And that's where we are with the Russell 2000. So again, nothing really out there. And here's the ES as I was looking at that expanding falling channel, and then the move that we've got to break out yesterday at 5:30 in the afternoon. And here we are tagging right back to that 513.05 resistance area, which should be a top caller and an expansive downward area which GDP could take advantage of, could not take advantage of. Don't know the answers to the GDP, but as you can see here, looking at this on the view that it is, until we are able to break down below that previous resistance level, which was SPX 5175, now 5244 on the ES, until we are able to break down into and below that old gap area, this being a gap that was from the contract rollovers, until we can start getting a breakdown into those low 5,000s, SPX 5050, to break down below that 5050 area, this is the most annoying yet profitable trading scenario heading into the beginning of April. So Monday next week is April Fool's Day. It's your decision whether or not you want to be involved in that. If you've got any kind of, you know, preconditions, or April 20th, a lot of people don't like to trade unless they're buying marijuana stocks. Completely up to you, but Monday is April Fool's Day. It's the day after a long holiday, and as far as data goes, like I shared, this is now 6 consecutive closes in the 5200s without a visit into that prior century mark. Very, very odd. This is also 17 trading sessions since we've had a minus 1% day, which again, very, very extended. So mind your P's and Q's, enjoy yourselves, and I am going to be putting out that email, like I said, that video over the weekend. I'm going to try and get it done tomorrow. And even though it is going to hit a lot of people between the eyes, I'm hoping it's more of a wake-up call than a hang-up the phone call. So see you guys over the weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Take some time to go out and breathe some fresh air, get away from your computer screens, and live a normal, happy human being life like we used to prior to the internet.